Hello, Mid-American gardeners. Happy to see you, happy to have you join us. And we are going to talk spring. Well, we might talk about plants too, but we want to talk about plants, hopefully in the springtime. I'm Dianne Noland, and I teach horticulture at the University of Illinois in the Crop Sciences Department in the College of Aces. And so I'll answer cut flower questions as well as perennials, landscaping, things like that. But there are three other really sharp folks here right next to me, and they have great expertise as well. So listen up and you'll get some of your questions answered. I'm going to start first with you, Chuck Voigt.
I am Chuck Voigt. I'm also in the Department of Crop Sciences at the University of Illinois. My specialties are vegetables and herbs, but I can also talk about some other things if we could stump the panel here. Tonight, I've gone kind of amaryllis crazy, and I brought different stages in here. This is the seed pod from the evergreen amaryllis that I had in here several weeks ago, and it's matured and is starting to split open. You can see it's in three parts because it's a monocot and they have things in threes, but they have these little papery seeds that really are, there's not much to them, and if you feel them, a viable one is going to have like one little grain of oatmeal in the center, and I've had great success germinating these over the last couple of years. One method is to just float them in water and watch the roots come out, which seems a little, I guess if you want to watch that happen, it's good. It seems simpler to me just to plant them in a cell pack and see what happens, which is what I did. And that worked pretty well too. So I have a whole bunch of these seedlings from last year that are growing, and I don't know how much variability there'll be in the flowers, but I have a bunch of them. So this year, I'm going to use them in my class for a propagation lab.
Oh, good.
And just let them try them and just gradually infest the Midwest with with amaryllis of various types.
Infest is not the correct word.
Yes, it's not.
Make everyone enthusiastic about them.
Right, because they really are kind of fun, and they're just, just hundreds of those papery things in there. I won't shake them out.
Don't get too careful because you'll want to hang on to those.
I do.
So you can.
I promised them to the students tonight at the exam that they were going to get them. So.
Yeah, that's nice. Make them think about other things during an exam.
Deflect them.
Okay, well, thank you, Chuck. And now we're going to go next to you, Kent Miles.
Hi, my name is Kent Miles, and I am a specialty cut flower grower, and we're located in western Champaign County. The name of my business is Illinois Willows, and we got a question, an email from Jean with regards to lilac bush. And the question is, I have a 17-year-old lilac bush that I cut the blooms off every year. Is there a way to produce more blooms? It seems that the spots where I cut the blooms never bloom there again. I tried cutting it down to encourage more outward growth with limited success. Well, Jean, we do grow quite a few lilacs at the farm, and on an older plant, you do need to cut it back to rejuvenate it. Generally, you should get new growth from where it's been cut. Generally, lilacs will bloom on the second year growth. And depending on the winter, this year's been a tough one, but on a normal winter, the buds will survive, and you should get blooms from those growths. You do want to open it up, the inside of the plant, to that will help with powdery mildew and some diseases. But you should get new growth from where it's been cut.
Okay.
That's about.
That one hits your expertise pretty well.
We
That's
generally
good.
we generally cut every year because we cut to get stem length.
Right.
If you're not cutting on an older bush, you get a lot of shorter branches, shorter nodes.
Which is fine for most people.
Right. You'll get a lot of flowers, but they'll be smaller. Doing a regular pruning, you get the larger flowers per stem.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Well, now I'm going to turn it over to Randy Thornton. Randy.
Thank you. My name is Randy Thornton. I'm associated with the University of Illinois Master Gardeners in Vermilion County. If we'll call it expertise, I don't know that it necessarily is.
It is
but,
expertise.
Lawns, perennials, general landscape, that kind of thing, and take a shot at just about anything. So, did get a question in this week. Not sure exactly where this comes from, but it says, the soil in my yard is compacted clay. It's so tough that when it's dry, a pickaxe has trouble breaking it up. What can I do to amend the soil other than gypsum so I can plant in a few weeks? I'm going to have to say the best idea would probably be some form of organic matter, compost. I'm not a big fan of peat moss or whatever, but I mean, if that's the only route you have to go to get the big bales of peat moss or something, or the bag products at the home improvement stores or nurseries, you could go that route. But what you might look for is like a landscape waste county or city type operation. They usually have some compost or whatever, and that's your best bet. The other thing you might try is what they call double digging, where you go down and you actually loosen up the subsoil as well, and that helps a lot. But you're not going to probably turn it around in 1 year if it's that bad, so just keep plugging away at it.
And they probably don't want to work it too wet.
No,
Or
yeah,
too
that
dry.
would, yeah. And do not go with sand. That is a people say, oh, put the sand in. Well, basically sand and clay, it makes a brick, so.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
Short and to the
Yeah, if you
point.
think it's hard now,
Yeah,
It's going to really,
yeah, put a little too much clay or sand in
add a
there.
coarse aggregate and make concrete.
or a patio.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Okay, well, that was good. Thank you very much. Now, let's go to a little quiz, Did You Know? Next. Oak leaf hydrangeas are beautiful. Really, really a nice plant. Okay, let's go to the phone lines and we're going to see what June's question is. Looks like it's about hen and chickens. Hi, June.
Hi. I ordered some hen and chicks from a mail order catalog, and I have them already. I can't plant them, I know yet. But when I do, I have a strawberry jar. Would it be okay to plant them in that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're all
Yeah.
kind of shaking our heads.
Yeah, I mean, that's an ideal situation for them. Any kind of a container, you can drill holes in the sides of containers. They're a very forgiving plant as a rule.
Are they? kind of
Well
soil do
drained,
you
that
use?
kind of thing. You don't want a real rich soil for them.
No rich, okay.
Yeah.
I think that's why sometimes they languish, because our soil is rich and maybe occasionally
Yeah.
too moist
Yeah,
for it.
they kind of
Occasionally.
like I have them out in the rocks along my driveway out by the street, and it's the hottest, worst place in the yard, and they love it. So
And a strawberry jar would keep it well drained. So you are ready to go. You already have some plants. That's impressive. All right, well, thank you for your question. And we're going to go to line 2 next. Jake has an asparagus question. Asparagus. We're ready for it. Line 2.
Yeah, hello?
Yes, what's your question?
Yeah, hi. I've got a couple packets of asparagus bulbs, Mary Washington, and on the back it says I could plant them now in March or wait till next month. And with the weather being so nice, I've been kind of getting an itch to go ahead and do it, but my wife thinks I ought to hold off till next month. I was just calling to see what you folks thought.
Okay, I'm going to throw it over to Chuck.
Well, the problem with right now is that we're still frozen, I think, to some degree, which would make it fairly difficult to plant. Now, you say bulbs. Do you have the roots or do you have seeds? I'm not clear on that.
Uh-oh, did we lose Jake? Okay.
Okay, Jake. Assuming you've got what you have are the roots, you want to get those down maybe 8 inches in heavy soil and up to a foot deep in sandier soil. And so, I don't, depending on when this airs in your area, if the frost isn't out of the ground, don't get a pickaxe and chop your way through it, because they'll be much happier once it's thawed and starting to mellow out. But a lot of times, the last several years, in fact, March you probably could have done it, but this year it's looking like it's going to be later.
And it depends on where that seed catalog or garden center was. They might say March, and it could be from a little bit south of here. So.
Right.
Well, and the other thing is, you probably don't want to harvest off of those the first year or two, for the most part.
Maybe up to 3 years.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
They always say pencil size or small finger
Diameter,
size
yeah.
or
Yeah.
bigger. I planted mine about 8 inches deep, but I still am a little bit mounting it up with a couple inches of mulch, and I added on some well-rotted manure.
yeah, because the crowns tend to rise over time as they age. They also spread out, but they tend to rise. So it's good to have them down for weed control when it's young and those kinds of things. So.
And it's just a thought, but I actually prepared it in fall before and covered it with straw. And then, because I knew what the springs were like, and I knew my springs were busy. But I think you can do it, just not in March this year.
Yeah.
But that's a long-lived crop that is going to be great once it gets started. All right, we're ready for spring. Well, let's go on to line 3, and Dennis has a pin oak question for us on line 3. Hi, Dennis.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great.
Hey, I've got 2 mature pin oak trees down in Wabash County, and they both appear to have some kind of a disease or condition on them where it looks like there's balls about the size of a walnut growing out on the ends of the limbs, and they keep clipping the ends back. And essentially what they're doing is they're clipping the ends of the branches back and spreading throughout the branches of the tree. Do you know what this is, and is there anything that can be done about it?
Okay. Well, those are galls.
Yeah, some type or another.
Some type of gall, Gall.
Normally, they don't. Most times, a tree will tolerate them fairly well unless they just get completely out of control. I mean, I don't know that there's a whole lot you can do about them. Some of them are caused by insect damage, some by wounds, some by bacteria. It's an aesthetic thing. I mean, if you want to clip them off, that might be your best bet. I never had a real success with trying to do anything as far as trying to stop them or anything.
Yeah. A lot of times the tree just will go on, but
Yeah,
if
it
it's
doesn't.
trimming it back,
Yeah.
that's kind of interesting.
Like I say, normally they don't kill a tree. I mean, but they will. I mean, like I say, most times it's an aesthetic thing.
So if you can handle how it looks,
Yeah.
it won't kill it. But it's certainly stunting it, it sounds like. So,
Well,
but
and
if you ever do cut it back, though, you would want to actually disinfect your pruners in between each one.
Yeah.
Rubbing alcohol or some kind of a
And pin oaks
alcohol.
have a multitude of problems anyway. I mean, they're not the hardiest oak out there. I mean, they're a very pretty tree, but they tend to be chlorotic and some things like that, which is yellowing. They don't green up real well sometimes.
So anyway, yes, we hope that you will be able to just put up with the galls, even though it sounds like it's causing a little bit of trouble, but it won't kill the tree. Okay, well, we are going to go to another round of emails. I think, Chuck, let's start first with you.
Okay. I have one from a person who every summer plants tomatoes in pots on the patio. Each season the same thing happens. They get rotted spots on the bottom of the tomatoes, the blossom end, classic blossom end rot. He's tried calcium fortified fertilizer on the top of the soil and working it in, and he still gets spots. Is my only recourse to pick the tomatoes early and let them ripen inside. That's really not that effective. A few things. Blossom end rot is a problem with calcium mobility. So first of all, make sure when you put your potting mix in the pots that you have ample calcium in there. Don't overdo it and make it so alkaline that nothing will survive, but make sure there's ample calcium in there. Having it set on like a concrete driveway or a patio may heat up the roots and cause problems, because heat and changes in moisture are part of the problem, because calcium moves with water in the tomato plant, and anything that stops water moving stops calcium moving. And then plus, the farthest place from it is the blossom end of the fruit. Some types of tomatoes are more susceptible. Things like Romas, things like the grape tomatoes are more susceptible to it than the cherry tomatoes. So combination of calcium things. If you see it developing, you could probably find calcium chloride somewhere and do a foliar application. That won't cure the ones that already have black ends, but it might help with the others. I heard that discussed at a growers meeting a little while ago. Apparently, once the small green tomato is pretty much set up, it has all the calcium in it that it's ever going to have, and if that isn't sufficient, it can't move it where it needs to go because there just isn't enough. So it's a problem. Some varieties much worse than others. Typically, long, slender ones will have more of a problem because it's harder to get it from the stem end to the blossom end, and that's why the grapes tend to show it more than the cherries. Cherries are just little round bundles, and they're very, very moist, where the grapes tend to be a drier flesh. So all of those things come together.
So that was a good discussion on blossom end rot. I wonder, maybe they could go with a bigger pot and
and maybe try setting them on the ground instead of on the driveway. I know that makes them, you have to trim around them and things, but it would moderate the soil temperature in the pots better, I think, because I have a friend at home who does that every year, and as soon as you get to the hot part of the summer, his cherry tomatoes tend to kind of go away.
And I've seen pots put into pots too.
That or set up on wood blocks.
Set up
or
on
something.
wood blocks to try to insulate it away from the heat. So all of these are our 2 cents towards the tomatoes. Okay, let's go next to you, Kent.
Okay. We have a question on replanting bulbs. And Karen writes, how can I dig up and replant somewhere else daffodils, tulips, iris bulbs this time of year? We are settling our mother's estate, and she was a master gardener and lived in the Camargo area. We closed on the house towards the latter part of April, and she wants to know, she wants to pass them out to family members and friends, and what's basically the right way to do this time of year. Most of the people live in our same zone, in Zone 5. Karen, I would probably, generally it's not the right time of the year to do this, but with your circumstances, with the calendar, I would probably, if things are already starting to come up, figure out what they are, whether they're crocus, hyacinths, tulips, daffodils, make some labels, go ahead and dig them up. If they're still in the ground and they haven't popped through, be careful in not to damage the stem or the new growth that's emerging from that bulb. If that would happen to break in cutting, basically you're going to lose a year's worth of growth from the bulb. Go ahead and remove as much soil as you can if they haven't put out a whole lot of root system. In labeling, then you can distribute which bulbs you want to send to which people. And if they're going to have this done by the end of April, you're probably going to have some plants that have emerged, and you want to go ahead and make sure they're labeled. And when they get replanted, you want to replant them as soon as possible, and probably about the same soil level as they were planted originally. You don't want to plant them overly deep than what they originally were.
Okay, well, thank
So
you for
you might
that.
sacrifice some blooms this year, but next year you should have them.
I have moved whole clumps before and just take them somewhere and let them go ahead and finish their thing. Like if you've got a yard of your own that you could just
And you
move the
move
whole,
the clump and then you mulch
and
back
then-
into the
yeah, and then,
spot.
maybe you could treat them as they normally would be later on. So
When I moved, I just dug white crocus in flower and put them where I
Yep.
wanted, because it's going to be hard to get that many.
and
moved.
irises, you can't really kill them as a rule. So you're
That's true.
probably fairly safe with those. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can throw them on the driveway.
Yeah,
forget
in
about it,
fact, I have a
and then
clump in my
plant them.
driveway.
It's just digging down to daffodils. That's going to be,
Yeah.
daffodils and tulips are
Tulips
going to be a
would be the
little
tough
bit
one.
It's-
harder.
Tulips would be
If
the
at
real
all
tricky one.
possible, it would be really great if before or at the closing, you see if you can make a deal with the new owners about waiting until June when the foliage
was-
actually yellows
thinking the
and
same
go in and do it
thing.
at the right time, because then you could go out now, mark everything well, and then go and dig them up. That would be ideal, but the willingness of new owners to let you do that would vary greatly.
Is dependent, yes. Okay, well, let's move on to you, Randy.
Okay, question here on river birch. Says we have a river birch tree planted 4 years ago. It's about 12 feet high. Has many branches coming up around the trunk. Should they be cut back or left alone? It's kind of along the same lines of the pin oak galls. It's more of an aesthetic thing. When you say they're coming up around the trunk, I'm going to have to assume that you may be talking about suckers from the bottom of the tree, which aren't really showing in this picture very well. But because they do tend to do that, and they also branch low on the tree. But any of that, you can, if you don't like the looks of it, you can trim them off, certainly. If it's suckers around the bottom, you may want to investigate. There are some products out there that'll help keep it from resprouting. Not a big fan of pruning paint. I wouldn't go that route. But as far as most of the trimming them up, it's, like I say, there again, it's mostly an aesthetic thing. So, but a lot of the landscape trees do tend to sucker very bad, particularly crab apples and Bradford pears and river birches and those things. So,
Birch branches are so pretty in floral
Oh, yeah.
designs, though.
Mhm. Yep.
Crabs are not as much
Uh,
attractive, but
yeah.
birch are really attractive.
When you like to get them limbed up so that you can enjoy that exfoliating bark characteristic, that's
yeah.
why you
And
have a river birch to begin with.
move the
yeah,
suckers
but I
away.
would definitely get rid of the suckers that are coming out of the ground around the bottom, and that sounds like what you're talking about. So.
Okay, very good. Well, let's go to the phone lines and start with line 4, Carol, about an orchid. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Diane. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I got a plant from my grandson last year for Mother's Day, and it's called Just Add Ice Orchid.
Yes.
And it has lived through the winter. It's got some nice green leaves. They're kind of a shiny, almost look like a rubber plant type of leaf. But I just wondered if it's possible that that would bloom again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
I-
for it, Kent.
What do I do?
Well, I got one about 6 years ago, and it blooms every year from February to April. And yes, you can add ice. Generally, I think the tag on it said like once every 2 weeks, add some ice cubes, and as they melt, they just trickle down, and the roots pick up that moisture. After the flower stalk the blooms have faded, you can go ahead and cut that back, and it'll send up a new shoot for the following year. But generally, it'll be a late winter, early spring bloom, and it's probably a Phalaenopsis orchid.
Should I repot that? It seems like it might be a little crowded. The leaves are big.
I would leave it. I would leave it. Mine is still in the original pot. Orchids tend to like to be a little pot bound, and they will send out roots on top of the bark or the mulch that they've been planted in. And the older leaves will mature and get spots on them and damage, and they kind of will regenerate with new leaves. So it's
Until it does not flower, I would
Right.
not do a thing.
And the whole ice thing is it's a marketing thing, and it's
Right.
basically just to prevent overwatering because they do not like to be overwatered. So
And let it drain down through.
Yep.
and,
Right.
And,
and pour off the excess if you have a solid bottom on your
Right.
container.
But yes, you can have those flower for a long time, very long lasting, and remove the old flower, not just the stalk, but the old
Right.
flower, and it lets the other ones
Yeah.
flower on. So just add ice orchid. In other words, just don't overwater, I think is what
Yeah.
they're saying. Well, very fun. Well, we want to go to a MAG quiz, a Mid-American Gardener quiz next. Randy thought the answer was B. I was pretty sure it was. Or maybe not. But I did know that New Dawn is one of the classic, I didn't realize it was the first plant patent, but that's a classic climbing rose. So very well worth it. I have to have us close on this question. I had this asked more this spring than ever. Is it time to prune roses yet?
I would say no.
I would say no.
No.
No?
Well, the only thing,
Depending. We got a depending here.
a lot of the big problem I've always seen, a lot of people use these cones over them and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
They put them on too soon and they leave them on too long. A rose is not nearly as delicate as people tend to think they are.
Get that cone off of there.
And basically, I mean, you could start pruning the dead off. There's no
Okay.
problem there.
Well, I'm going to sneak in and say thank you for watching. It goes so fast. We'll see you next time. Have a great week gardening. Bye-bye.